Hello everybody, Buddy with Midland, Texas. I got a little video this morning that I want to make here. I think the title of this thing, I bet our press is more corrupt than your press, And here's a meme I shared on Facebook recently. It says lights, camera, bullshit, and so I've been extremely frustrated with our press here. I'm just going to jump right in here. Here's the header that I wrote on here. I said, one news story telling the public that homeowners all over the country have reported people in the attic after I was ambushed and shot with burglar alarms going off in my attic would have saved who knows how many crimes and murders. Okay. And I believe that with all my heart. I believe it is intentional, on purpose, and it's organized crime and racketeering. And they're a party to it. I mean, nobody can tell me that isn't a national headline news story. Homeowners all over the country are having their homes broken into, and it's being used for burglary, theft, and murders with this huge police corruption problem. Well, but here we go. I bet our press is more corrupt than your press. Okay, and then you can chime in and go, oh no, here you can tell me your story. Okay. Here, I'll just do my comments. During the election for Midland Sheriff, I secretly recorded Joe Lozano telling me that the late Sheriff Gary Painter used to hide out in the secret underground homes here, and our press hid this from the voting public. This could have been a game changer. It could have affected an election. They hid that during an election. I'm going to show you that. Okay, here is the phone call, secretly recorded phone call called Painter's Underground Hideout. Okay, and that's where I secretly recorded a guy running for sheriff saying our last sheriff used to hang out in these underground homes here that are believed to be connected with multiple murders. Okay. There's the first one. Let's do the next one. On October 9, 2014, Midland Sheriff Deputy Mike Naylor was killed in the line of duty. But what was hidden from the public by our press was that I had a reward offered for his identity as a secret police. It's now known that he was the second law enforcement officer to arrive at my home minutes after the murder attempt on my life when he wasn't dispatched. Let that sink in. Maybe that's a factor in him dying. It's a gun that killed Naylor was reported stolen. It sounds like a drop gun to me. Doesn't it sound like to you? I'm wondering if secret police didn't, kill him, blame it on somebody else. Press hid it from the public. On December 15, 2014, a Midland K9 Police Officer murders his wife and then kills himself. But the press hid from the public the fact that I had a reward offered for his identity as a secret police. He was caught in my home on a camera the police had tried to disable a few hours after the murder attempt on my life. Okay. This is Chad Simpson, okay? Big story all over the news. But guess what they're hiding from you is that Chad was one of the secret police inside my home and the murder attempt on my life. His name wasn't even on the police report. They had illegally omitted his name from the police report. You didn't hear that in the press either, did you? On December 27, 2010, 13-year-old Haley Dunn was reported missing from Colorado City, Texas. And on March 14, 2013, I wrote the Department of Justice and suggested they look in the underground homes here in Midland. But they didn't look because 2 days later, her remains were found outside of Scurry County. I've now documented more than 10 people saying that Haley was killed in Odessa, which is Ector County, and our press has hid these facts from the public. This is the video I put there. New evidence in the Haley Dunn case. And like I said, this is who, where, when, and how, Haley died in Odessa. All of them, 10 different people, phone recordings, screenshots, all hidden from the public by our press. I'm telling you, you can't beat us. We have the dirtiest press there is. That's all there is to it. After I was ambushed and shot by somebody under my home with burglar alarms going off my attic, some unknown doctors faked my X-rays at the Midland Hospital to try and cover up this failed murder. But even with multiple proofs, our press hid this story from the public. Do you think I'm the only person they faked X-rays on? Of course not. That's a danger to all the citizens, all of their people that read their newspapers, watch their news shows. They are a risk of these doctors that are faking X-rays, and they hid this from the public. What I'm showing here is here the ER doctor orders 3 X-rays, right? Secret lab tech, which ain't supposed to have secret lab techs, cancels the doctor's orders 2 X-rays, and then returns X-rays that were timestamped before the doctor ordered them. That was only one proof that my X-rays were fake. There's absolutely no doubt them X-rays were fake, and I don't think there's any doubt they've done this to other people, and you don't know about it because our press hid it from the public. Multiple people are now documenting saying that tunnels and underground homes are near my home, with one person saying they were put in for George H.W. Bush in the 80s. That was recording. Google Maps is showing a large building in my backyard, which is obviously one of those homes, but it can't be seen from above ground. This is yet another huge story that has been hidden from the public by our press. Now, keep in mind, can you imagine that? Here somebody, saying that $1 million underground homes was put in for the vice president of the United States here in Midland, Texas. It's believed they're connected with multiple murders, burglaries, theft, etc. Whole long list of people documented saying underground homes are here, in Midland. And then there's the supporting evidence like the Google Maps right here, showing that, an underground or home in my backyard. You can't see it from above ground, That's where it's believed the young girl was murdered in. Here you can see where the ground was cut. Looks like a tunnel. That's where it's believed the people going to the oil show party used this tunnel. I showed Homeland that in 2019. 2 weeks later, they poured concrete. That's another huge story I didn't even put in this list. After I survived a home invasion and murder attempt, I found pictures of police in my home, but I didn't have a police report saying any police were here. I nicknamed them the Secret Police and offered a $2,000 reward. This was the first time in the history of America where a crime victim offered a reward to identify police, but not a news story in the nation. Our press has been hiding this from the public. 6 years later, a PI collected the reward money and identified all 11 of them with amazing results. The next year, it was found out there was a police report all along that incriminated police. Okay, I'm going to show you the pictures of them right here. This is the flyer I used at 6 years, death threats, repeated breaking into my house, and people coming to me going, I'd sell that home if I was you, because they're trying to terrorize me out of my home, because in the backyard's an underground home where they murdered a little girl, and they killed the last homeowner right before I moved here. And these are the names right here. This is a huge, huge news story hidden from the public. First time in the history of America that a crime victim offered a reward to identify police. I mean, I don't know how you get more corrupt police corruption than that, it's the dirty of the dirty. A former neighbor told me that the young previous owner of my home died here at this home, but his death certificate said he died in Fort Worth. The Odessa American posted a death notice saying that he died in Fort Worth, but then 4 days later they posted a revised death notice and changed the location of death to his residence, confirming what the neighbor had said. I believe he was murdered here because the oil show parties were starting in the backyard the next week and then taken to Fort Worth. This is another story hidden from the public by our press. Can you imagine that? Here's the Odessa American right here. Oh, he died in Fort Worth. Oh, no, never mind. I changed my mind. He died in a whole nother town. That was a whole nother town. He died 4 hours away at his residence in Midland. Make up your mind, where did he die at? Hey, well, the neighbor said he died here. Obviously, he was murdered here. And this happened the week before the oil show started. Obviously, he was murdered because of that, right? And my friend Angie McGee Hurley told me about a young girl that was murdered at a party going on during the 2010 Permian Basin International Oil Show. Angie was leaving my home and at those parties in 5 minutes. So obviously they were held in the underground homes here, and maybe the one that looks like it's in my backyard on Google Maps. In 2013, the remains of a 14 to 21-year-old black girl was found, who I've suspected was this girl. This is another huge news story which has been hidden from the public by our press. Okay. Here's the Midland Crime Stoppers. 14 to 21-year-old black girl found outside of Midland in 2013, August 2013. And like I said, Angie was leaving my home here and at the parties in 5 minutes. I believe she's parked in front of Home Depot, coming back through that tunnel, and then here's the parties, and in one of the underground homes was in my backyard, obviously, and and that's where I believe it happened at. Nobody's trying to investigate it. Nobody cares about this little girl. And I told somebody recently, I have 2 daughters and I have 3 granddaughters, and I don't even want to imagine what the family of that little girl is going through. It's just cruel that it is, and to know that they could solve this, they could bust this, and I think one of our number one problems here and in America is the press. It is the corruption. They're working for organized crime. I don't know how else to say it. Lights, camera, bullshit. This Buddy Webb, Midland, Texas.